Davenport,
Here.
Trevin,
Present.
Turcott,
Here.
Vincent,
Here.
and Long.
Here.
Thirty-one physically present.
31 physically present. Physically present, therefore we have a quorum, therefore representative, we have to establish contact with Representative Howard first. Representative Howard, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I lost you there. I can't hear you anymore.
Okay, are you,
Oh.
you are hearing
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Very good, thank you. And Representative Levesque? Excuse me, Representative Levesque,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay, can we see you?
Yes.
Justin, can you put her on the camera?
She has to put herself on, Representative Schmidt.
There we go.
Yeah, she's on.
That's Representative Treleaven.
Yeah, they're both on this side.
I can't see them up here.
They're on.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you. Going forward. Sure.
They have to say who's with them.
Oh, if anyone's with them in the room.
If they're alone, anybody in the room with them, that's part of the.
All right, I'm happy to have that accommodation. So Representative Howard, are you alone or are you with somebody? And if you are with someone, please tell us who you're with.
No,
Oh,
I'm alone right now. I suffering from COVID, so I trying to stay away from everybody.
We are aware of that and we wish you well, but we're glad you're not here. Representative Levesque, are you alone or who are you present with?
Yes, I'm alone.
Okay. And we have someone else. Well, the commission watching us. All right, so, you said. Very good. Well, yeah.
Well, I agree with, Representative Turcott that, they having here on Zoom with us may not be what the law says.
Okay, Representative Turcott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to request that Attorney Velarde produce or write an opinion as to why he believes somebody who is not present can vote via video conferencing. So at some point I'd like to see that, please.
Well, let's establish that right now.
Excuse me, I want a written opinion. I don't want verbal. I want a written opinion to this delegation as to why he believes that's possible.
I don't have a problem with that, but we can't do that instantly. Therefore, do you object to the county attorney stating a verbal opinion to be followed by a written opinion?
I just don't see the point of the verbal right now. I would prefer to have it just in writing. I don't need a verbal. I just want to see it in writing.
Okay. Attorney Velarde, are you okay with that? Providing us with a written opinion. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, so.
Yes,
Yes, over here.
I want to thank the members for taking the trouble to zoom in. Reverend Howard, particularly, looks like he's not feeling well at all, so I think it's a good thing that this technology exists. I think it's a good thing they're taking the time to participate, even if they're not physically present tonight.
Okay, obviously.
I'm happy with the objections, but they're in the right.
Okay, your statement. So, at this point, we're moved to item 6, receive recommendations of the county delegation executive committee on commissioners 2023 proposed budget. So I can report to the delegation that the executive committee in fact did meet date and time and reviewed all the committee's responses to their portion of the budget. And I believe that, and subsequent to that, the executive committee did vote, and the vote of the executive committee was in favor of the commissioner's proposed budget for 2023. The vote was 11-1. Okay, 11 ayes, 1 nay. Okay, so having received that report of the committees, and having voted on it and on an 11-1 vote, I'm now informing the delegation thereof. And the next item is item 7, vote on acceptance of the amount to be raised by taxes on Stratford County for 2023. And I'll ask Representative Hall to read that information.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope you can all hear me. I move to accept the amount to be raised by the taxes for Stratford County in the amount of $38,678,084 for the 2023 project.
There is second. Second by Representative Phillips. Second by Representative Fitzpatrick. Okay. So it's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Representative.
Yeah, I'll start with a couple of things here. Very difficult to do much with a budget that we're trying to figure out where we've been, and we don't really get to see where we're going. But I'll start with one clarification I'd like to have from the commissioners and regulators. In the 2015 proposed budget, page, I guess it's the first page, it starts with Stratford County Commission's proposed 2023 budget, resume of accounts, January 15th, 2023. Account number 9902000. Capital expense J&A, Ds, and CIP. In the yellow book, that number is $85,863. And in the information that we got, that Stratford County third quarter 2022 budget, January 1st to December 2022. That same line item, 9902.000 shows the 2022 approved budget of $837,863. So there's a $752,000 difference there, and I'd kind of like that explained if they could, why there's such a difference in these two documents.
They're 2 different years.
Well, they both say 2022 approved budget. That's why I don't understand why. I'm not going to judge the new one, it's the old one. You see what I'm talking about?
No, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay, so what?
Thank you.
Here's the 2022 approved budget.
Yep.
2022 approved budget, the same line, and it was 837,000. So it's a pretty substantial difference, and I didn't understand where that was.
I don't have an answer for you, sir. I can only tell you that your subcommittee is the one that reviewed the capital for this year. I don't have the answer for last year.
This may have come out later, but this is, that's a $750,000 discrepancy. Well, we should have an answer.
I'm sorry, our finance director is here, perhaps he can answer it.
I believe that would be,
Can you come up, Diane?
I believe that would be the,
If you, we need to have you speak into the microphone. So you can
Oh, yeah.
the seven,
you have to speak right in.
the $752,000 difference in, during the third quarter meeting, there was an appropriation of $752,000 for the dispatch radio project. Also, an increase in the anticipated revenue of $752,000. $50,000 as well from a COPS grant that we received. And so we received the approval to accept and spend that grant money. And that was all done in the third quarter budget. So that is why you see differences in capital through the course of.
Yeah, in fact, that was the grant that we had acquired from Representative Pax. And it just took us a while to get it. And that's the difference between, I remember now, thank you for. Yeah, it was an earmarked funding, but it was under the guise of a COPS grant. And you didn't receive it until then. And that went towards the radio project.
That clears it up for you?
That's
Okay.
the right answer.
Thank you.
You know, I've got a couple more, if I can call them. And you know, to go, the only information we've got is going backwards, unfortunately, and I apologize if I'm going backwards a little, but there's questions I have, and they'll help me. And just like they were able to answer the 752,000, which I go, we all wanted to know. Which I came off.
No, I didn't.
The Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. Ramsey County Commissioners public meeting. Item 3, a Port Solar Farm bid. And it talks where the bid coordinator brought the alternative energy consultant cost. And the bid to partner engineering was voted on and approved by the commissioners. They motioned to award the bid to partner engineering and science in the amount of $41,040. I was curious as to where that money came from, that you paid that. Was that in the budget somewhere?
Our funds.
That was out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good with that. Representative. Want to continue, Representative Burns has an issue.
Okay, yeah.
Representative Burns.
I'm wondering if they can have the amount of expenditures, that was another estimate that I don't know if you has.
No, the auditors have our numbers, and, you know, as per the statute, we'll have an audit. They give us 120 days per the statute. I don't believe it's gonna take 120 days, but as soon as the audit's completed, I promise we'll share that with the delegation the second we get there. It's, you know, the audit, just so you know, this is last year's audit, so it's, you know, 100 or so pages. So we're likely to email it to you so you can scan it as opposed to paying to photocopy everything and send it out.
Well, I'm just looking for a bottom line expenditure, that's all. So you have a.
I don't believe it's gonna change, from what, I sent out to the delegation, about a month ago.
Good. You're good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Representative.
I have another question. And it has to do with the award the bid to Warren Street Architects on Thursday, May 26th of 2022 Commissioner minutes. They voted to award a bid to Warren Street Architects, and we all know that was for $60,000. And I'm again asking, where did that money come from?
The vote of the delegation.
We never made an appropriation.
I was here.
We voted in favor of letting them go forward. We never, the minutes don't reflect the appropriation.
We did.
I don't know what more to say. That was, we went out to bid based on the vote of the delegation.
Well, the delegation minutes specifically say we gave you permission to move forward. It was never discussed to us until I brought the commission on. And August. Has money been spent and what did it cost for the preliminary? And at that time, we were installing 60,000. At no point during that meeting we had, do I remember hearing, we're gonna need $60,000 to move forward with this contract And is there an appropriation, something more appropriation for 60,000, that's where the money came from. When did that happen?
There's a
Did
specific,
someone happen? Meeting.
there was a specific question too by Representative Harrington over Zoom about where it was going to be paid for, out of what line item.
For the Warren Street contract?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harrington, you remember that? So I'm just curious, whether, we're spending money, and we've got to make, the law says, we're gonna make appropriations or supplemental appropriations, or it can't be spent. They just don't. It's not in the minutes, it doesn't say in the minutes we made appropriations, so we gave permission to go forward, that's what I read.
My recollection was that there was going to be, that the work was going to proceed and that the $60,000 was going to be part of the overall appropriations. I read it, Mr. Moon, representing. First, I want to hear from the expert about.
Yeah, for the Representative Strong, Grumman, I'm sorry if I said the name incorrectly. We told him the amount of money and he said that was a reasonable amount, and that was after delegation.
All right, well, that's my recollection, but somebody over here. No, I know you. Didn't I hear somebody over here? No, representative.
Yeah, I was at that main meeting, and I can tell you, I usually remember money figures. You didn't appropriate any money there. I'll tell you this. I reluctantly voted to go forward with that because I assumed it was just looking at the options, not one option, looking at the options there. There was no talk about any money. Maybe we should have gone a little farther and asked. It wasn't mentioned at that point, and I don't know where the 60 to pay for that. We didn't authorize that. I would have thought we.
Well, that's not my recollection, but I'm relying on my recollection. So, Representative Turcott, did I see your hand? No. All right.
So the front of that question, then, if, let's say we did make an appropriation, where did the 60,000 come from? What line item did it come from?
As I answered Representative Harrington when he asked me he actually asked me on the Zoom if we were gonna have to pay for it, and I said, yes, it was $60,000. He asked what line it was gonna come out of, and I said, the miscellaneous expense line that we have in the budget.
Would that be the other side of fund balance?
I'm sorry, sir?
Would that be the other side of fund balance?
No, that's on the operation.
This one it is.
Yes.
One moment.
Can the chair please ask if we had a conversation and Representative Harrington remembers this or not?
I can't say that, you might have. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago, I asked you last question. Right now.
All right.
Yeah, I would respectfully disagree, and from the research I've done, it didn't happen like that. We had a couple of meetings after that. With people on Zoom and here, we got a couple of meetings. That's probably where people vote.
Well, we certainly had the vote, it was like 22 to 13, which enabled us to proceed to.
Well, I think it was unanimous. With the conception. But the whole appropriation was made that night, it's not in the minutes.
That was the unanimous vote that you were referencing. The unanimous vote that you were referencing was not an appropriation, it was a conceptual approval to go forward with the general concept of coming up with a plan. And amount of money and so forth and so on. And that was a general, just a concept approval, not an appropriation vote. I agree with you. There's no unanimous vote to proceed with expenditure of funds at that time.
Well, and just to further, we had that meeting on May 19th or something, and the contract was signed the 6th, I believe, of June. So I obligate the county for $60,000. And the commissioners approved it May 26th. Right, so again,
Well, you've heard the administrative response that money came out of that contingency fund. So my recollection is that we approved it, but I'm not going on my
so
recollection.
the million dollar, and I'm not gonna dwell on the million dollar question is. What money can be spent, and nothing can be encumbered without an appropriation from the delegation, that I hope in the future that they come to us. I think what should have happened, we should go ahead. We should have said, we'll put it out to bid. When we get the bids, we'll come back to you for the money we need for appropriation. I believe that's the proper way for this to happen.
I believe that did.
And I would like to see that from now on.
I hear Representative Bixby.
Point of order, are we now discussing the budget before us for the coming year?
That's
Absolutely.
Representative, I asked whether there was discussion, representatives raising some points which we haven't cleared up with regard to the $700,000.
Okay, is that last year's budget, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we are,
Again, I
the
think
question before us is this year's budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the point I'm making is the information we have to go on to vote for this year's budget is basically last year's. Because we don't really know what we have this year's to go on. So if there's questions about it, the question I could ask is, well, what would you expect? Do you expect anything like this to happen in this year's budget? Or are we all set? That's the reason for this kind of question.
Well, the point is that this budget is the commissioner's proposed budget. We've had the committees have vetted their portions of the budget, with the exception of the revenues committee. All the budgets were, I believe, unanimously approved by the committees. I was there for, supposedly able to be there for the criminal justice committee, that I recall.
Point of order.
Yes,
There were only two of us, but we did approve revenues unanimously. We had two absent.
yes.
So it was two yeses and two absent.
Thank you. And also that means that all the committees did approve the commission, their portion of the commission's proposed budget. And that's what we are discussing at this point. You have some questions, legitimate questions, and we've tried to answer them. I would see if we'll present a good moment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, so Representative.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe the unassigned fund balance, at the end of 22 is part of this budget because that's the starting point, it's the estimated. And do we have that number?
Diane, I'll give you the number.
So you're looking for
We don't have 2022.
Says that the
Janet, Diane, can you come up so that we can have you speak in the mic?
Thank you, doing a good job.
in 2021, our the fund balance was $1,218,000. We will not know because we're going to our audit currently. Our just left our offices actually this past Friday. So the audited fund balance will be available for publication until probably May or June.
The question is estimated on that, which is part, when we put the budget together, that's the starting point.
For the budget, the fund balance is not part of.
Yeah, basically it says that here. When the very initial revenue estimates, total operating budget, boards and commissioners shall make estimates of unassigned fund balance available to reduce property taxes, defer rule rates, or preliminary assessment of the county's financial condition. So that is in the beginning.
And we looked at that number of $1,200,000 number.
That's
We
20.
put, I understand that's all the numbers we have. We start putting the budget together in October. There's no way we would have a 2022 fund balance in before the year even was completed. So what you're reading off of is the county's financial policy. That policy, what the number we're talking about was 2021's number, not 2022's.
Follow up. If you, when you do a budget, well, whoever calls a budget, and I'm on the budget committee, my town, and the state, and finance committee, one of the things you can see from month to month, it'll say previous year, previous or actual spend, and estimating what the budget is. And you just follow that. And then it's say amount of money, usually it's start off.
That's not a fund balance.
Well, no, but you can figure it out from you don't know what's being spent in the interim, but each month you can follow. If you do the manifest, you can tell exactly what you're saying.
But we give that to you on a quarterly basis at quarterly meetings. There's a revenue report and an expenditure report, and you see the amounts that are remaining. We don't do it on a monthly basis here, but we do it on these reports you on a quarterly.
And it has all those.
It has the amounts that are
Well, you don't show it's for the ending balance.
that was an estimate.
And what was that, 22?
I don't have that report. I think that was sent out to everybody, yeah.
That was sent out to everybody about a month.
So you can't do that.
I honestly don't know what our food balance will be. I understand, and I'm not going to give you an estimate. It's so that when the estimate turns out wrong, somebody says, well, that's what you said. I don't have an estimate for you. I'm not sure what else to say. No, it is not. There is a number of things that go into making the county audit. The county audit is this document. That's the last year's audit. So as you probably can appreciate, it's more than one page of numbers. There's a lot of things that go into doing an audit. And I brought this for that purpose, to show you the type of work that goes into and having an independent auditor prepare our audit. So I can tell you that I can't give you an estimate. I don't know. But I can tell you as soon as one's available, I will have it to you directly.
Just to go with I want to make one more thing. At the beginning of the balance, the ending balance for the state is approximately $300 million of surplus. Right, so we just got that, right? We should say, all right, we look at that, so we can spend that. It's part of our, that's where we start, because if we're arrears, obviously, we can only spend that, right? It makes sense, we'll look at where you're at. If you don't, you're budgeting the bar.
You're taking a risk, anytime you do that, simply because you haven't even finished the year because you're in. I mean,
Well,
the state, I suppose, perhaps has some, mechanism to determine what that number looks like. And I'm sure at the end, it's not going to be $300 million.
It's 260 actually.
Okay.
That number is true. That's.
So you know what's going to spend through June 30th.
Yes, we know, we're budgeting now for 24 and 25.
I understand.
Yes, and that's what we do. The ending balance in 45. By our estimate, it's going to be $260 million, which is what $40 million less than what we have now.
Representative, you understand, obviously, that the state budget and system is very different from the county, which has the reports on a quarterly basis. The two things are not really comparable, although mathematics is what it is. Now, we've had hands raised. I don't want to get into too much, but Representative Sands is next. She was the first one to hand up, and Representative Harrington, and Representative Turcott next, and Representative Stout. So Representative, that's your right.
So this might be a stupid question, I just want to make sure that unassigned fund balance is completely different from the miscellaneous operating budget fund line, correct? Absolutely. Okay, and so you can't, I would assume you wouldn't have it off the top of your head. We don't have the numbers for 2022 for what was in that unassigned fund balance. We don't have the numbers, what was in the miscellaneous operating budget as well for 2022 on hand right now. Miscellaneous operating budget, well, that was what we were told that. $60,000. I believe about a month ago, that operating budget as and everything was estimated, and I think Ray Bauer was very clear that he was sending you estimated numbers about a month ago. So that would be not a miscellaneous operating budget, but the county's operating budget.
So
Yeah,
now,
I mean, I meant miscellaneous funding line, that was in that operating budget for 2022. Miscellaneous funding, yeah, what we just said, that where we pulled $60,000 from.
You're talking about the 60,000 in the article.
Correct. What was the total of that for 2022? That miscellaneous.
They won't have it. I don't have that report that we sent to you a month ago. If somebody has it, I'll find that. We just got the through the third one. When we had to do it.
what we're looking for that. Representative, we have Representative Harrington.
Thank you. So just so we're clear on this, what's left over at the end of the year, one that we don't know about, let's just say the X amount of dollars. So on July 1st, X amount of dollars then rolls into the 2023 budget.
No,
So where does it go?
it will be in an unassigned fund balance.
An unassigned fund balance that will be spent by whom? When?
Only to go to the delegate.
So that money is blocked up and it's not part of this miscellaneous fund.
That's correct. It can only be spent at the go to the delegate.
Representative.
Yeah, for the finance director, I just want to be crystal clear, I couldn't hear a lot of Representative Peters said. We are almost full quarter into 2023, and are you saying you have no idea what our unassigned balance will be, or even an estimate?
We just don't disclose estimates because we're in the middle of the work.
I'm not asking you to disclose, I'm saying, do you have, or I find that very difficult.
It's a work in progress right now, and I'm currently working with the auditors to get final number.
Point of order, my understanding is that we're here tonight to discuss the 2023 budget and to vote on it. There have been a number of questions from our members of the other side who've had just as much time to review all of this information as we have, and I appreciate the level to which the staff has gone to send us all of these materials in hard copy and an email in the weeks preceding this meeting, and the number of opportunities we've had to ask these types of questions in advance of this meeting. And so I'd like for us to be able to move on to the purpose of tonight's meeting, which is to vote on the budget and not to continue repeating the same questions over and over, which have been asked and answered.
It's very difficult to make a big decision like this when you don't have full disclosure of information. I understand that there are things that are still in the works, but you should always have a running estimate. Do you by any chance do your work on an Excel spreadsheet, some sort of information. So how come we can't see an ongoing spreadsheet with estimated calculation? That's my question. The second one is, do you have an unsigned fund balance report? Because we should have a bottom line number of what that's for. And I don't know what that is. We do have those who were, it's a work in progress at the moment.
And we should, by the end of May or by the end of June, have those numbers finalized.
What is it?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, we've been doing this for 7 years now. At least I have. Nothing's changed. It's the same process that we've been going through for 7 years for you other representatives that have been here. Am I correct? It's the same process. So there's no surprises here. I just want to put that out to the people.
I understand that that we have a situation where there are questions. We've been at this for 45 minutes. Okay, and I am prepared to have, you know, a discussion with some of the issues that Representative Newton has raised. A $700,000 seeming discrepancy, but it was explained to his satisfaction.
Right.
And several of the other questions were resolved to his satisfaction. I don't think it's inappropriate to have a discussion. We don't have wrangling or yelling going on. Everybody's being calm, including yourself. Okay, I think we should answer the question. We have a number of new representatives for whom this is not 7 years of experience. So I don't think it's and to resolve some of these issues. And some of them can't be resolved until the audited numbers come out. Okay? Until they have the audited numbers. But
With the paper there,
okay,
the law says you're supposed to have numbers, the accounting of the numbers at all times. Well, I just wanted to.
well, I also wanted to say something like that. But in any case, so with that discussion, we have a motion on the floor. Unless there are other vital questions to be raised, I want to proceed to the purpose of tonight's meeting. Representative Kaczynski did raise something about that. So,
I don't know if it's vital questions.
I'll let you know.
I agree with you. I'm under no time limit to be leaving here. Now, I gotta say this just for the record. We have a fund balance in Rochester, the city of Rochester, the unassigned fund balance, unfortunately. And they've accumulated a lot of cash. And I've spoken out publicly against that. And it's amazing, our taxes are going up substantially with an unassigned fund balance, which is the taxpayers' money, any way you look at it. I'll tell you this, we find out at monthly finance meetings what the figure is. I don't know, I don't know what's the problem, they seem to come up with it, they know what their revenues, they got different ways they're funneling money in there, they seem to know it, and they can come up with a figure that they'll say is an estimate, but I'm sure it's pretty close, so.
Well, you're very skilled with the finance director's response.
Yeah, we're just saying,
But she said she doesn't want to throw estimates around because that's all it is an estimate. Okay, I'm sure they have an idea, but she's thinking, that she does not like to throw estimates around. Have a question or a remark?
I'm trying to say that even if we don't know exactly, it's still a figure. We should know what the figure is, even if it's an estimate. We need to know something. We can't come in here not knowing anything and then being asked to vote for a budget with money you don't know where it is and what it is.
I don't think that's a legitimate comparison. We are represented for that first amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In regards to the honorable gentleman from Rochester's comment in regards to a town budget, I would like to say that a county budget is different than a town budget. And a county is run a little differently than a town, similar to Chairman Schmidt's comment in regards to the state budget. I think some of these questions are legitimate, but gosh, as with Representative Selly's comments, Why can't some of these questions be asked before we're all here, sitting in this meeting? Excuse me, I beg your pardon,
They were.
I heard it. I didn't appreciate you interrupting me, thank you. I appreciate your answer, thank you. They were asked, and if they weren't asked, answered to your satisfaction, then you should have kept asking. And you could have called Mr. Bauer or any one of the commissioners or any one of the other representatives who've been here longer and have experience to get help with those questions. But I don't appreciate sitting here, although I do think some of the questions are legitimate. I don't appreciate sitting here listening to this going on and on and on, although dinner was well. Thank you.
Representative, Representative Southwood, you are the chair of the.
Yeah, but that is really relevant to my comments. I agree. I think in May, if we get, the unfunded balance, that will be great. We'll get it, to me, it just impacts going along with it.
So we can't be having crosstalk, because then we can't be heard. So please don't do that. Continue.
Again, I think it would be great to get the actual figures as soon as they get them. That's no different than it has been for my whatever 8-9 years. And I also think that doesn't affect my vote tonight, because that unfunded balance isn't going to be that far off from anything. So, I just don't think we need to keep talking about it. I'm ready to go.
Well, I think some of these questions are. And there's no harm for the city here, we haven't even been at this for now. And we've given people an opportunity to be heard, don't think it's inappropriate. We have some people who are new to the process, so forth. I don't think it's inappropriate. That we have a discussion to try to get at some of these legitimate questions. Okay, Representative Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to second what your statement in regards to it's important to ask these questions. I think it's important that we actually work through this, even if it does take time. It takes all night. We're done up here, you ran for office, you know what it entails. All right, do the work. Do the work.
I would again say that I move the question.
I second.
Let's make a vote. So, do we have one representative?
Question's been moved.
Well, I only have mine this part of the head, this way. I can't see anything over. Yes, Representative.
Okay, I mean, I'm happy to move the question, but I just wanted to say this dispute about the architect's fee, we needed to pay a professional to give us information that we didn't have, and I'm going to get the process. I think the process should have been the way you know the commissioners have wide discretion to move things around between light items anyways. I think that there's
There's something to do with the process. So, the question has been called. Yes,
We will hope to move this question. That are they representatives who have more questions being stifled by the majority who doesn't want to give us the chance to ask their questions at this opportunity? We don't have a lot of meetings, Mr. Chairman, where we can ask questions. And when this happens, it just causes things to fester. Because there's people here that don't want to hear what the opposing side has to say or concerns, and that's wrong for the county, and it's wrong for the people we represent.
I withdraw my second, Mr. Chair. I withdraw my second, Mr. Chair.
You. You've asked several questions. We've endeavored to answer those questions. Several of them we answered to your satisfaction. And most of them, yeah, okay. So the thing is, you've asked several questions. Representative Petrie, Representative Green, Potential, Representative Turcott, Representative Harrington, Representative Lee. I think we've had a discussion, and I've tried to recognize everyone who's raised a hand that I saw. I apologize, Representative Warren, and let me see your hand. And Representative Dixon. So the point is, we've had a discussion. I don't think anyone is talking about stifling, the discussion we need to offer now. Basically, okay? So at this point, I'd like to proceed with the major order of business of this meeting on the agenda, which is to have the county budget proposal voted on. Do you object to that?
If everybody's had the chance to ask questions, and there's no more questions from this side of the table.
Okay. Okay, so, again, are there any further questions?
I have a question. Is there a current motion on the floor to move the question, or is that been retracted?
Well, Representative did withdraw her.
I heard that, but so there's still a.
I moved it because I wanted to talk about where we were at right now, and it seems like we've almost finished all the questions.
Okay, Representative, you good with that?
I was just asking what the status was. That's all.
That's what Representative did withdraw.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just for the record, sir, she could do the second. The motion is still there.
The motion was made by Representative Southworth, and I seconded it, and I withdrew my second.
My words might not finish here. I said that I moved it so we could talk about where we were at, so I withdraw my move, but we're still back to the motion of Representative Qual.
Well, that's what we moved.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Further discussion? Representative.
Oh. Do the county commissioners have the opportunity to adjust on the tax or the delegation, the tax rate, like what to do in town? Sure, if you're familiar with that tax setting time.
No,
You know,
no, we have no opportunity to do that except by the Department of Revenue Administration.
well, they would, except, I don't see that.
We submit the information that you're voting on tonight, the Department of Revenue Administration, State Department of Revenue Administration sets the tax rates for the 13 communities in Stratford County.
Right.
Okay,
Nothing to do with the commissioners whatsoever.
okay, at town, see, the seven can take money, fight down, they fight down.
And it's another, and it's, that's another example of how it's different. Yeah, by statute, you vote on an amount to be raised by tax, the Department of Revenue Administration sets the tax.
And it's offset.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which is the more reason to have the additional information that they're looking for. I intend to vote for this budget. I think it's sensible. I like they haven't gone up too much, considering that they've kept it below there. So I like that. You know, that 8% is catch up. If that happened then, now we're going to catch up with it. And hopefully it'll go down. So but I do think it's appropriate to have that kind of information.
Well, and Mrs. Rogers taking notes here. And the questions that have been raised, where we haven't been able to give specific answers, are not moved. Not thrown in the trash can. There's been a number of requests for information, numbers and so forth and so on. And it's clear that the commissioners and the staff are going to provide those numbers as they become available. Some of which are stated will not be available for until the audit.
I say this, but we do it in towns to go into that fund and bring the tax rate down. So that's all the reason to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for the idea.
I don't think that's. Yes.
The question, who else sent the estimates, you getting the money?
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, everybody got them in the mail.
Even, yes.
Everybody received the fourth quarter estimate.
Yes.
But I think it's useful to have a discussion here with everybody present, right, all here.
Not everybody saw that. Okay. So now at this point, I'm going to ask the clerk to call on the deficit of the amount to be raised by taxes, and I'll repeat it, $38,678,084 and no cents. Here it is.
38 million.
So.
38 million.
38, 678.
38, 640. Okay, no. You ready, Jen? Please call the roll. This is on the amount to be raised by taxes for 2022.
Anchorberg,
No.
Bailey,
No.
Bay,
Yes.
Bickford,
Yes.
Dixie,
Yes.
Burnham,
No.
Cannon,
Yes.
Conlon,
Yeah.
Connor,
No.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Stranger,
No.
Bradsey,
Yes.
Harrington,
No.
Morgan,
No.
Oregon,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Kaczynski,
No.
Henning. Sorry, excuse me. Lonnie,
Yes.
Levesque,
Yes.
Newman,
No.
Eric,
Yes.
Benny,
No.
Petrie,
No.
Adenza,
No.
Rich. Smith,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Southworth,
Yes.
11,
Yes.
No.
Vincent,
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Yes, 13
From the yes, 13, no. Motion passes. Item 8, motion to approve minutes of February 1st, 2023, public hearing and meeting. The motion, Representative Benson, move to approve. There's a second. Second by Representative Fair. Is there a change in the main recommendations? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? I just think I wasn't a member of the delegation. Okay, Representative Grassi abstains, not having been a member at that time. Item 9, other business that may legally come before the delegation. Then, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm doing the research. I discovered that there were no minutes available for the September 20th and the November 30th workshop that we have. And the reason we have minutes is for posterity. And some of us agree, remember the cast. What might have happened a year ago, 2 years ago, they called it civility, and I tell people that because you get older, so something that avoid something on. However, I think it's important that there are minutes kept of every meeting on this debate. That was a very job, that was that a meeting is a meeting of people, elected officials discussing the business of the people. And we did that at both meetings. And I don't know who took it upon themselves to think the meeting minutes weren't necessary. But between Zooming and in person, at the September 1st meeting, there were 24 that were participating in that workshop. And at the November 30th workshop, there were 20 of us that were participating in that workshop. And it's been told to me that they did find the video of that workshop, which is good. And I would offer that this delegation send a direct message to whoever didn't feel we had to have minutes, that this delegation will make that decision on whether or not we have minutes. And not somebody else, that we ask them to bring the minutes forward. Now, I know at that time, Representative Frost was the secretary. And I did get the same one, because she wasn't returning. I said, Representative Frost is on issue minutes. We're going to do a good job. And you won't be here. She said, that's okay, because I don't write them anyway. She said, so. Whoever did write them, hopefully is still here and can, but it's unbelievable that minutes weren't made available, those meetings that we had, because I thought they were very productive meetings, and we discussed a lot of stuff, and they're important. So I urge this delegation to send a strong message that these minutes come forward, and when we find stuff like this, it isn't, you did this, it's like, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You start doing what you're supposed to do. And that's what this delegation should do. We should not be. We can disagree with each other, but we should work to the common goal of getting the strength of the county. In 10 years from now, somebody might go back, well, they had workshops, and what exactly did they do and discuss in there? What do you think came out of it? Oh, there's no minutes. You know, I go back and read minutes all the time. When I first done politics in Rochester, I went back to read 10 years ago. It's the same, because some people think it's a new idea when it's already been hashed and rehashed with people. And that can save time, sure. So, you know, it's up to this delegation to say whether or not we have minutes, and we need to be diligent on making sure that there are records of our actions, because all of us got elected by hundreds of people, but they want us to represent them. They want to see what we talk about and discuss.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I asked the county attorney to answer this.
Would you share your feeling on this?
We don't seem to have minutes with this workshop, we need to have minutes, in my answer is no. A very simple equation to that, which is, you all decide whether there are minutes, by whether you show up. It's not a visible form, and then for either of those workshops, so it's no at the meeting. Never just get into a meeting with. You know, not meeting, you're not required to have minutes. That's the lead thing, I'm not saying it's a good call. So that's not very, and you all have a full meeting, non-language, whether you show up.
Thank you.
We also. The other thing is, and we do have video of these meetings, and the video is posted. So you have to pay attention and not ask questions. We better than minutes. If any of your constituents want to know what happened at these workshops, they can actually watch the video. The ability to watch the video is the same as looking at the minutes. It's on the same website. You don't have to do anything fancy. It's on YouTube and it's on the county website. So better than minutes, you can actually watch what each one of your representatives did or didn't do at these meetings. So yes, we don't have minutes because we were told we didn't have a meeting, but we saved the video and posted the video.
All right. Representative
Yeah, right, Ray, I think the purpose of, at least for me, minutes are more of an executive version. Yes, true, we video everything at the state house, we video everything here, but the minutes are a quick summation of what we want. That way, if I want to go on, I go to the minutes and I go, oh, they talked about this here, I want to see this, I go to the video and spend the time. Two different animals, in my opinion, one is for one thing, one is for another. I would totally agree with, Representative, Newton.
Hey,
That meeting minutes need to be done. Again, I don't want to put the attorney down the right, he has another legal opinion, but I mean, we operate in this county without bylaws or any kind of a charter. In my opinion, it's very, very loosey-goosey when it comes to process. How we get past that, I don't know, but I do want to see meeting minutes.
Well, this time, I'll tell you, I'll make it easy. I'll ask Janet to look through the video and we'll create it. If that satisfies Representative Newby,
And the idea, first of all, even though the video is the verbatim, right? It has, but also has minuses that you can't pull it up and you can't scan through, you can't mark it up. There are all kinds of reasons why minutes are very useful. And I think that the officer, the administrator is the way to go. I endorse this. Representative. With all the respect, the one that says, I quote, the purpose of this boundary meeting means that the meeting of a forum, members of the following body as defined now, say, 1-A, 1-A, or 6, or the majority of the members of such public body, if the rules of that body is by form as more than the majority of its members. I need to telephone and electronic communication. So it allows electronic communication all that. By law. And we have 22 in one meeting and 20 other numbers, and everyone might being told that it was not a meeting, because the law says it was.
And so.
It doesn't, it says it might mean the telephone or electronic communication. If you're there, I call or electronic communication, it allows. So I don't want to get into too much of a debate on what 91A says, Representative Tennis.
I just want to thank you for the 9-1-A explanation. That's important. I want to thank the opportunity to get into this. Because I think it's very, very easy to scan through. I'm brand new, and there's, some other people here that are brand new, and, I feel like I have, fiduciary responsibilities to my constituents and have that information, and, we all have big lives and lots of stuff going on, and jobs and all of that, and, we still want to do our due diligence for voting on big amounts of money, and, like that, we will go back. I have two meetings, and it's a lot harder than having minutes, and so thank you for bringing it up. Thank you for that opportunity.
So we have to be further.
In past meetings, Representative Newton mentioned again several times that Secretary of State didn't receive a meeting notice. I have an email here from the Secretary of State that indicates that they missed five meeting notices from Stratford County in Sullivan County's file. So it's just, anybody's welcome to read this if they like. So also Representative Newton just mentioned that Rochester wasn't served. I have affidavits from deputy sheriffs indicating that, the city of Rochester, not only were they served, but the notices were posted in Rochester, Farmington, Dover. I have affidavits, and I just want to clear that up because some delegation members continue to think that we didn't send those notices or might think we didn't send those notices. I simply wanted to clear up for the sake of poor Janet, who was in tears. If people believe that she didn't send the notices, when actually the Secretary of State is filed with us.
Well, and so it's done to hear that it's said, I actually did think that, they said either it didn't get delivered, because I know it was sent. Okay, I know the meeting was sent or delivered to all the appropriate venues, okay? We said, why the Secretary of State file did not reveal said notice, it was a mystery to me, and I was prepared to go to great lengths in terms of trying to track it down. But I did say, maybe it got mishandled. And in point of fact, even though it seems like Hogan and Stratford, Steve comes before it has to do alphabetically, and if it's put in the wrong file, gets in the wrong. I mean, there's nothing more common than reading the library book and not ordering the rest of the library, take the book from where it belongs and they put it someplace else. And unless they do a complete catalog, yeah, that book will be lost if that person puts it back where it belongs. In terms of it. So, he, right next to that, you, that they found.
It's actually six. It was actually six, because they just filed tonight. And they just filed tonight, is how they found the other five.
In any case, it's very interesting that we covered who does it. So,
Oh, I'm not gonna give you the easy stuff. But I'm gonna ask you, you said, I said, Rochester didn't get more money.
Okay, well, if you didn't, then I just might.
Chief, the sheriff was like, I'm trying.
Well, I have the application for the deputy there.
I'm glad that, you know, but now.
Well, I might be sure.
Now, is there anything, anybody that also just burning to say that you have them? Okay, well, Representative Newt is made the most interesting part of all is. There a second. Second, by Representative Bassett. All in favor, say aye. Thank you, everyone.
Never be clear. But you don't have to.